All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of A Moment With. I am very excited for today's guests. We have Matt and Lydia from Apostle Hot Sauce. And as you guys will know, you probably did see Matt jump on with Cool Crafts of Vlad. So that was a little bit of like a fun, let's go make some sauce video. So thank you guys for jumping on for that one and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So before we jump into it, I just quickly want to talk about those sauces that we made. So I will have to admit the sriracha that we made, that definitely grew on me. And I would say that was probably my favorite one that we did. Have you guys finished the ones that you did?
We finished the like peri peri style one that we did with the oil based on the original recipe. I've still got a little bit of the sriracha left. I haven't really had much of it. We've got so many condiments.
Yeah. And I think that week we also got that same day actually we got a big order from a hot sauce shop in Melbourne that we buy from. So we had all these different
Chili oils
chili
and
oils and hot sauces
yeah. So
to
we
try.
got a lot to get through.
Yeah.
Is that how you guys kind of like test the waters and draw inspiration for potentially new products that you guys release?
Not so much inspiration, but just to compare ourselves with what we're making with other people.
Yeah, and just like it's just fun to try new things as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we are like if we're working on a new product, we do tend to buy like what else is out there just so that we can make sure that we're producing something different. You know, there's no point just releasing exactly the same thing as someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
100%.
we don't want to do a worse version of something as well. Like we want to have a better product than what else is available.
Yeah.
Which is why we compare mostly.
We can.
Yeah, if we can. Otherwise we bail
There's
on
some
it.
very good, like some very good products around.
Yeah.
If you had to recommend like one maybe local product that you would like to see people go check out, what would it be?
There's a lot.
Sonny's maybe.
Sonny's, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Sonny's sauce, which is they're Kapiti based. They do like an amazing satay sauce.
And a Thai dressing, a green Thai dressing, and they also have like a what do they
Green?
call it? Nah, that's the Thai dressing one. It's also like a dressing that's like got It's so hard to explain. They're like
Well-
they have three different Thai sauces, and they're all three of them are like incredibly delicious.
Okay, well,
You can get-
we'll just have to try it then.
Yeah. But there's a
good.
bunch of others. Like there's all sorts like Fruit Crew.
Oh yeah,
We really adore their organic wines. They're kind of like apple cidery, but they're really dry. We really love them.
Is that like fruit wines?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a bottle.
In between a cider and a wine.
Oh yeah. Do you like
Yeah.
it?
Really nice. Yeah.
Okay. And where
like
do you get that from?
Not too sweet.
Everyday Wines.
Okay, is that an online store?
You can buy them online, but they're in Auckland and on Cuba Street.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll definitely check that out. And I mean, so you guys did mention just then, you said the word new products, and when you guys said that, it caught my attention because I think we can talk about it now because you guys put it on your story the other day. The honey that you guys have been working on, is this still confidential?
No, we can talk about it. We don't mind talking about stuff really. But certainly not with what we're working on.
No, it's just that we have been in a position where we can't actually make any of our new products. So
Yeah.
because of where we produce it. So I guess it's like we don't want to like get people excited and then it never comes.
Yeah. We wanted to release something new like every year. And last year was the only year that we haven't been able to release anything new. But that's because we're not saying no, but we don't necessarily want to release another hot sauce yet. We want to hold off for a while because we feel like we've got kind of like all cuisines covered a little bit, and we don't want to be stepping on our own toes or anything with making a different version of something we already have. We want each product to be really unique from one another. Yeah,
100%. So let's just rewind it back a little bit for everyone who's listening that is unaware of what Apostle Hot Sauce is. So let's just get a little bit of a background on you two. So please just enlighten us with I'm sure, the lovely story of how you two met.
Now, let's not talk about that.
Not as romantic as we would like.
Nah.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it was a church group. It was it was a youth,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was a youth group.
Yeah, that's the best place to meet people, 100%. Okay, so we'll skip on that one then. How long have you guys known each other? And you're obviously together now.
Almost
8 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
8 years,
So we
right?
while. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a while. And so when were the first sauces being made before you launched the company?
You were making them throughout like 2017, 2018.
Yeah, I had made them before though.
Yeah.
When I was living on Earl's Terrace, just making sauces there and experimenting for the first time. That was the first time I really got into like chili sauces and stuff and trying to refine a recipe for
Right. So
myself.
what made you like decide to start making sauces and just try different ones?
I really liked Huffman's. Um, they're not around as much as before. I think you can still get them in some places, but they made a really, really, really delicious, um, like a fermented Tabasco style sauce. Um, and they were kind of hard to come by, so I tried to replicate that as best as I could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so would you say that was the main sauce that you were making before you went live? Because I imagine you would have kind of like gained some traction just with friends and family sharing sauces with them, right?
No, I mean, except for
Yeah.
when we moved to Kelburn, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, we were kind of like looking for something to do. We sort of wanted to make a product, but we didn't really know what it was going to be. Well, maybe I wanted to, but yeah.
Yeah, Lydia wanted to.
I
She
always,
would always come up with these like harebrained schemes of
Yeah.
like, we could sell this. It's like a quiche or something. Like,
Yeah. So Lydia, would you say you were the kind of obviously we take this with a pinch of salt, the brains of the operation?
I think I was the motivation of it.
you were
Like,
the 100% the driving
Yeah.
force. Yeah.
but then as we've got into the swing of things, Matt's kind of really taken ownership of it. But I don't think he would have done it
No,
without me kind of pushing us
Yeah.
along.
she
How do you
made me do it. Yeah, she made me do it. Yeah.
how do you guys split the workload? Like do you guys like all work on the same thing, or one person handles the admin, the other person handles the cooking?
Well, I still work 4 days a week. So Matt kind of does most of the heavy lifting, I guess. He does sort of most of the admin, most of the cooking. Oh no, we cook together. Um, and I do more of the like design and marketing side of it, and the gift wrapping.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I can't gift wrap for the life of me.
Oh,
That's
that
such a
makes two of us. On the marketing side of things, because obviously you guys have that iconic branding. Loads of people I talk to really like the branding style that you guys do. So I was just wondering, do you think there is a balance between the success of your brand based off of the marketing versus the actual quality of the product?
Definitely, yeah. We've been quite lucky because of the way our product looks. We've got we haven't actually had to do that much work to get stockists because people see us on Instagram and then inquire. And that's because of how it looks. And then they taste it and then they like it. But to get your foot in the door, the way it looks has really helped.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'd say the majority of people who get in touch with us wanting to stock our product have never tasted it.
Oh, that's really surprising. Just simply because it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's a cute gift. Yeah.
yeah, which is a little bit frustrating for me
Yeah, but
because Lydia and our illustrator Juju did all of the work that gets people to buy the product
Yeah.
and recommend it and share it and do all of that stuff.
Yeah,
And
this
then
guy's sweating his ass off in the kitchen, working, and people haven't even tasted it. They're just like, "Oh, I like the artwork."
I get the repeat sales.
yeah, exactly. If it didn't taste good, it would flop because people would stock it for a short period of time, but it has to keep selling.
Yeah, 100%. And it does taste good, guys. Go buy yourself a bottle if you haven't. And so on the journey, like when you guys first started, I guess, taking it seriously, was there kind of like a this is it moment where you were like, oh, like we could actually do something here?
Well, maybe it was slightly too optimistic because we like started selling sauce before we had the branding. We started selling it around Paikakiriki, where we live. And I think the Christmas 2018, we sold like 60 bottles. And so I was like, oh, this is it, you know, like this is the business. Which is ridiculous because that's no, like, you can't have a business that sells 60 bottles. Like, that's not enough. But just being a bit naive and a bit optimistic, I think we just went for it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know if I ever had that moment, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm so much more pessimistic. Like, it's interesting. Like, yeah, Lydia's definitely the optimist and is like, this is going to work. This is exactly what we're going to do. We need to do this, this, this. And I'm like, okay. And then like the rest of the journey is like me desperately clinging on to make sure nothing falls apart. That's my side of things. I guess.
Yeah, and I don't think, like, even now it's not like, I don't think we've made it. Like,
no,
you know, it's still like every day is like, okay, can we keep going? Can we keep going? You know, like it's, but I don't know if you ever get to that point where you feel like, okay, cool, this is really safe and comfortable.
Yeah. It's we've got a long way to go in terms of where we are now and where we, I don't know, want to be or need to be to sustain what we dream of having, which is actually pretty small.
Yeah.
We don't want to have like an enormous factory with like 50, 60 employees. Would be really, really happy with it being able to sustain just us two, and then like a small group of like really passionate people, and we can take care of them in a really nice way and like pay them fairly and give them like a really good level of work experience, and maybe do mentorships with other people wanting to start businesses and food businesses and stuff, and have a bit more involvement in community. We don't really want to be like a publicly traded company or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, cool. And is that, well, I'm guessing that's probably because the most important ingredient that you guys use in your sauce would maybe
vinegar.
No, I'm talking about love. Come on.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, you're very right. Like, it's never been about the money.
Yeah,
you know, that's not why you start a food business.
No.
Like, you know, it's about doing something that we care about, and also trying to run a business in a way that is positive for people around you, positive for people you buy ingredients from. You know, we're not trying to rip anyone off.
And we want to be really transparent about everything that we do as well.
Yeah.
Like, some people definitely do start food businesses, but not for the love of food. They'll have like, they'll hire people as product developers. They'll hire people as designers. They'll hire people as marketing agencies, social media, to run those sides of the, like, whatever the heck they're doing. But they won't necessarily have like a product in mind. They won't necessarily have like a vision. They'll have, I want to make money, which is just feels really ugly. And you can sort of like, as a consumer, I think you can sort of taste that in the product a little bit sometimes, or you can feel it through the way that they're marketed. Like, there's a level of like not being genuine about what they're doing. Not to slag anyone off or anything, but I think if you go down to a farmer's market and you try something that some person's made in a bottle, and you can tell that they've made that by themselves and they've put so much effort into refining that thing, and they're just like one or two people, like two friends, like the Fruit Crew stuff that we just said, or Sonny's sauces that we said before. It's like Sonny's is a husband and wife, Fruit Crew is two really good friends. And you can really taste that in what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of those things, like, it's kind of hard to put into words, but like you really can tell the difference between something that is genuinely made with love and with someone's two hands compared to just like, you know, bottles on a conveyor belt kind of in a factory. So 100% feel you guys on that one. So you were saying before, Lydia, about how, you know, you guys are wanting to do something that is good for the community as well. And recently you guys, in the month of February, donated, was it all your profits or portion of your profits to the Hawke's Bay relief?
did all our profits from our online store.
From the 20th till the end of the month.
Yeah, because Cyclone hadn't happened before then. Took us just a week or so to like process what had happened.
I mean, it happened on the 14th, but there was like no information getting out, like, because my family's there, and we couldn't really contact them from like that Monday for like a whole week. Like I managed to get through to my sister after like day 4 or 5, but like the scale of what had happened, like it's still not even fully transparent as to what even happened, which is like quite frightening, I guess. So yeah, that like whole week and a bit was like figuring out like who's okay, what's been damaged, can people get in and out, who's got power, who hasn't got power. So it was pretty stressful.
Yeah. Did you guys see good support coming through with people buying lots of sauces during that period that you guys were donating?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we definitely had a bump in sales. And we also donated $10,000 as well on top of that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just because, it wasn't really about trying to get people to buy sauce. If they just wanted to donate, we put all the links to the places that we thought were good to donate to.
Some people just prefer to have some sort of more transactional thing, which is fine.
It just makes it easy. Like if you're not sure where to donate, just buying a little product, and that sort of product that's quite a low price point is quite a nice entryway into be able to do something. Because it can be quite overwhelming when it's like all these different charities and there's, it's like, where do I even start?
We wanted to give it like a boost as well, because like February's are typically quite a quiet time of the year for us, and so we didn't know how it would go, so we were just like, okay, we'll add this additional bonus. Well, this is our donation, and then whatever you add to, that's like that is a bonus. So
yeah, awesome. That's really really nice thing that you guys have done there, and I hope that all of your friends and family are safe, of course.
Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable though, like that people saying well done, like like that's not
right. Yeah,
that was like a real bad feeling actually. People saying like congratulations, thanks, you too, but it's like no, don't misconstrue what we're doing here, please.
Yeah, I understand. So apologies if I
no, I'm just saying in a general.
We just had that like on social media, and it's just
yeah.
But it's like better than doing nothing,
Yeah, 100%.
And also as a food producer, everything is grown up in the Hawke's Bay, so it's like it's kind of, we rely on all those producers up there. So really, we have to support them.
Yeah, and there's a lot of small scale producers just like us that got like quite heavily damaged as well. Like a lot of those really small wine companies who piggyback off of the larger ones, and then the larger ones get damaged, and so the smaller ones might be like in a bit of trouble. So
it's really hard.
Yeah. So what I guess it's a little bit different during that period, but is there a sauce that you guys sell that you would say clearly outsells the others? Like what are your best sellers?
Yeah, the Phillip, definitely. That's the roasted capsicum and chili one.
Right.
Yeah, that sells the best by far.
Oh, really?
And that's because it's like a they're really recognizable flavors, and it's the closest to like a traditional hot sauce as well, which is what we wanted. It's like nice, it's smoky, works on pretty much everything. It's like a really good all-rounder, and it's a really good starting point as well. And then the other flavors are a little bit more adventurous, but that one's the best seller. And then the barbecue after that, because again, it's another pretty like recognizable flavor. And then following that, they're all about the same afterwards.
Cool. Yeah. And so Matt, I know you told me that your personal favorite is the Matthew. Lydia, what's your personal favorite?
My favorite is the pita, which is the kiwi fruit and kawa verde.
What do you have that with? Because like I've been trying to, I got that box from you guys. Thanks very much for that. And I've been trying to like, experiment with the sauces, and I am having some trouble with a couple of them, like that kiwi fruit one, the mango one, and also the Sichuan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those three are probably the ones that are not as versatile. So you've got to get the combinations right. But the kiwi fruit one is amazing. I make guacamole with it. So put a couple of tablespoons instead of lemon juice. It's really delicious because it's super tangy. It's great on like anything with cheese. So because it's so tangy, it cuts through like the fattiness. So like cheese on toast, cheese and crackers, like nachos, tacos, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really, really nice.
And it's really good with fish too.
Yeah, good with fish.
Again, like instead of lemon, just imagine using that.
Yeah.
And then the mango one, if you mix
Nice
that,
with fish.
it's really good with fish or chicken. Again, same thing, like Mexican style dishes like tacos or enchiladas are really nice with that one. You can mix it with mayo or aioli, and it's really delicious.
Oh, yeah.
We do roast vegetables with it as well, with a little bit of crushed garlic and oil.
I make a salad dressing with it, so just put a bit of olive oil, bit of garlic with it. It's
Yeah.
really good.
And then the blueberry, that's we sort of base that on like a tamarind style dipping sauce, or like imagine it just in anything that you'd put like sriracha on, put that on instead, basically.
Great with dumplings.
Really good with dumplings, really good with noodles, fried rice. I even had it on avocado toast, and it's really good too.
Oh yeah, nice. Okay, I'll definitely do some experimenting, and I'll have to report back to you guys. Let you know how it went.
We've got some recipes on our website, and we are trying to get some more as well. So
Yes, those recipes look really good. I'm yet to. I kind of did a version of the fish tacos, but I'm yet to try some of the other ones because they are looking good. I really want to try the pie, like the bean pie. That looks good.
Oh yeah, that is nice.
That bean mix is what I use for like everything. Like if I'm making nachos or burritos or baked beans for breakfast stuff, that's the same recipe I use for everything.
Nice. So tell me about. I'm absolutely sure this has happened. What are some of the worst concept sauces that you guys have trialed? Because I'm sure some ideas have come through your mind. You're like, oh, this sauce is going to be so good. And then you tasted it and it was like, wow, that just did not work.
Yeah. The one that comes to mind for me is orange and coffee.
Oh, yeah.
That Matt decided he wanted to make. That was not good. It was not good.
It will work one day. There is some ratio of like that citrusiness that will work with the coffee.
Yeah,
what would that go with?
Exactly.
Good question.
Yeah.
Because so if you mix coffee and orange juice together, it's actually kind of nice. Which is a very weird combo.
Yeah. There was a coffee maple miso one that I was working on too. It just needs more work. I think everything just needs work. To test and to trial, but it takes so long and it's so much effort.
Would you say that the ones that kind of mix in these more sort of sweeter tasting notes are harder to execute than like a purely savory sauce?
No. I mean, they're about the same, really. It's just balance. Everything's just like about balancing flavors, getting the right levels of acid to saltiness to savoriness, to the sweetness as well. Like all of the sweet sauces need a level of salt to balance out that sweetness and to provide like a different layer to it. And then all of the savory sauces need a level of sweetness too to balance out the savory notes. So like, for example, the Philip, which is the red one, and the Matthew, which is the brown one, the chocolate one. Although we don't add any sugar to either of them, we do roast capsicums for both of them, and the sweetness from the capsicum, which is a fruit, does alleviate some of the acidity and also some of the saltiness. And so, yeah, it's about getting a right blend, really.
We only want to put out a sauce if you can actually use it.
Yeah.
You know, like it might taste good on its own, but like it needs to go on things.
Yeah. What would you say is like the base thing if you had to assume, like if someone's never tried your sauces before and just kind of wants to give them a go, is there anything, like one thing that you think is quite versatile that they could just like taste it with, like bread or crackers or something?
We do our tastings on corn chips quite often when we do, because it's just like it goes with all of them apart from the blueberry one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's quite a good
The
thing to try them on.
yeah, they all work with like corn chips or bread, except that the Andrew, the blueberry one. So it's like,
yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but it's just such a clean sauce. Its flavors are so delicate. Like blueberry, green apple, ginger, lemongrass. They can all be like easily disrupted by like, I mean, you don't necessarily think of a corn chip as having a particularly strong flavor, but it does like really upset the flavors of that particular sauce.
Yeah.
So you need something to, I don't know, we can't use like pork belly or anything like that during a
Yeah.
tasting for that one.
Yeah. Now I want to turn it back to kind of like the back end of the business a little bit, and sort of like the business side of things. So you guys touched up a little bit kind of on a long-term goal, which is to, get a few staff, maybe train up some people, and just keep doing it with you two in charge. What would you say you guys' short-term goals are, kind of maybe for the rest of this year?
I know what they are.
Go then, say them.
Well, firstly, we are going to be moving our production to a space that we can sort of make anything in.
Yeah.
So that should hopefully be happening.
Hopefully.
I just don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah.
But it should be happening very soon.
Yeah, we thought we were cursed
Yeah.
quite a long time.
We've had a real struggle finding a premises.
Right. How do you
yeah.
find new places to do that? Like, is it still going to be a shared space, or?
This place won't be, if all goes well.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult. Yeah, it's been a nightmare, to be honest.
Yeah, is this new potential one, is that in Paikakariki as well?
We're not going to disclose where it is.
Okay,
yet.
we don't want to curse it. Okay.
We don't want to jinx it.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not going to jinx it.
We're getting a bit superstitious because
yeah.
We've had it's been a journey.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that, but we'll keep our eyes peeled for it. Yeah. Now, tell me a little bit about discipline of running a business. Because I've had a few things that I've dipped my toes in, and sometimes when you start something, you might have this fiery passion within you that you're like, oh, I'm just gonna give this my all, and it will turn into something great. And then maybe a few months pass, your fires burn a bit lower, and you struggle to find that discipline. Now you guys are coming into your 4th year of this? Yeah, so coming into the 4th year of it, how have you guys kept discipline to just keep going at it?
Well, it's sort of so I feel like I keep
sheer tyranny of will. I don't know.
No, well, it's if there's orders to fulfill, there's orders to fulfill. Like you just have to keep doing it, like, because each day there's work to do. But in terms of like sort of bigger picture driving the business, it can be hard. I think we quite lucky that when one of us hates it, the other person is sort of like, let's keep going. And luckily we both usually aren't both on the same like down level, so we can sort of push each other up.
Yeah.
But that's probably the benefit of doing it together.
Yeah, definitely.
It would be, you wouldn't want to do it alone.
Yeah.
And that works quite well because, people say if you make a business with your partner, it's either going to go swimmingly or really bad and burn the relationship out. So it's worked well for you guys, kind of like a perfect balance then, right?
Yeah, I think we got quite lucky because we're so different. And we both like skilled at completely different things. Yeah. Like I can barely use like MS Paint, and you should see her clicking around. You should see her clicking and typing. Whoa.
Yeah, I find those so hard to use. Like I suck at design. I'm trying to get better at it, but it's a slow process, eh? So tell me about because obviously like for this section where I'm asking you guys questions on the business, I'm kind of hoping that there might be someone younger who has an idea and they can get some insight from you guys. So tell me about some of the doors and opportunities that have opened up for you guys by giving this a go and starting a business.
It's making lots of friends. like lots of friends, which is really nice.
Yes.
I mean, we were able to like, we have something passionate that we're passionate about outside of ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and we get a huge boost in morale and the amount of joy that we get from what we do when people respond really positively to something that we've done, or like when we get like a positive customer review, we go, oh,
Yeah.
we just got a review. And we sit down and we read it out loud and we go, oh, like
Yeah.
we read every single one like that, and it's just so nice. Especially when they come through when we're feeling down, which is like quite often when you run your own business. That's easy to get like overwhelmed. But then yeah, when people respond really positively, it's good. And just feeling a way out, like
What do you mean by
we're
that?
making our own way out
Right. Yeah.
from like, I don't know, wage slavery. You know what I mean? Like we have
Yeah, you're
our
doing
own
it on
thing.
your own. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
we have
your
our
own
own
boss.
thing. Yeah, we can be our own bosses one day. We can do all of this stuff ourselves, and we don't have to rely on anyone else to do what we want to do.
Well, we do.
I mean, we
Like,
do absolutely,
All,
but
all of our people who supply us our ingredients, all of that.
I know.
But like, yeah,
I mean, in terms of
you don't have to turn
employment.
up at 9 a.m. every day and
Work with people you don't necessarily like.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a question that I wanted to ask you too. So, your own business, that's your full-time work. Do you guys work on a schedule of like 9 to 5, or do you just work nonstop sort of thing?
Yeah, kind of nonstop.
Yeah, it comes in waves. So like this time of year is quiet. So Matt can be like,
I can test recipes.
Yeah. He doesn't need to like go too crazy with his work hours. But like then from June till December, he works every day, like 7 days a week, so it's like, so what we're learning is just enjoy this time.
That's a big one. Yeah, because like normally I'll get up in the morning, Lydia gets ready to go to work, I'll pack orders and respond to emails and do all the invoicing stuff until like, I don't know, usually like midday, and then the courier turns up and I give him a hand, and then at the moment, if there's nothing else to do, I can be proactive about the next few months or the next year's worth of work. So we can work on test recipes, we can talk about doing more design work for our gift box that we're going to release at the end of the year. We can go over designs for new labels, for new products. We can work on like stalls and how we want our stalls to look for events. Stuff that's like months and months and months in the future.
Yeah. We were trying to like really use this time to get ahead on stuff like that.
Yeah, but then like gearing up into that Christmas period, it's like as soon as you get up, you're working. When Lydia comes home, I'll take a break, cook tea while she continues working. We have dinner together, watch some TV show, and then get back to work and work until like 10:30 at night. It wears you out.
Yeah,
but it's great though. I'd rather be doing this than anything else I've ever done before.
Yeah, that's awesome. I rate that. Now, guys, we're coming into the final 3 questions for the episode today. And this next one coming up is it's going to take you back to times maybe you had a job interview a few years ago, because this is a job interview question. And the question I've got for you guys is, tell me about a time that you beat the odds. Like things were not going your way. You thought, oh man, this is not going to work out, but you pushed through and it worked out in the end.
It's kind of all COVID related.
Yeah, I would have guessed as much.
Yeah, we had our first proper Christmas because we launched like
December 2019.
December 1st, 2019, and then the next. So that wasn't really a proper Christmas because we were just kind of, not a proper Christmas of sales. Then the next Christmas we had no bottles, which was just the worst. It was no one's fault. It was just COVID. Like nothing was getting into the country, and so we literally had couldn't sell anything until I think maybe like the 10th of December.
Yeah.
Bottles finally arrived. So we just made sauce nonstop. And sent it out. It was just
That's tough.
It sucked really hard.
Yeah, because that's when we make all our money as well around Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we really need that. We need that boost at the end of the year.
Yeah. So we just had like loads of ingredients sitting around waiting to be used, but nothing to put them in. And that felt terrible because like people kept ordering as well. There were lots of back orders.
Yeah, and it was also our first Christmas, like
Oh yeah.
this is all our stockists, and we were like, you know, like we can't fulfill these orders, so they're not going to want to stock us anymore. And like
You want to make a
it's
good
all gonna fall
impression.
apart. Yeah, you want to make a good impression. Like you want to be efficient and get your orders out quickly, and we had to always fulfill their orders.
But everyone was really understanding though, because so many people were in the same boat as us. It just felt especially bad for us because that was our first year.
Yeah.
It was our
Yeah.
first big Christmas. And that was
Yeah.
yeah, that was really hard.
Do you
But then-
feel like people are more inclined to be understanding if things do go wrong because you know you're a small local business rather than a big corporate?
I think in general, people are actually really nice and
Yeah,
really
yeah.
understanding. It's just that you put all these pressures on yourself and think, like, decide in your head that no one's going to understand and they're all going to like never stock us again, and you know everyone hates us. But like it's not actually true. It's just your own insecurities.
Yeah.
Like people were generally
Lovely.
very nice.
Yeah.
All our stockers are very nice.
Yeah.
Very
You catastrophize a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we particularly do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
You just build up to things in your own brain as being like significantly worse or significantly more impactful than they really are. And then when you get like even a small amount of distance from it, you go, oh man, I was being such a baby about that.
Yeah, I remember we like when we first started stocking Farrow in Auckland, we sent them like 10 bottles that didn't have best before labels on them. Like I don't know how we missed it. And like I remember feeling like, and so they had to throw them out, which was fine, but I remember feeling like sick to the stomach, like, oh my God, like, you know, like sick for like a week, like, you know, they're never gonna like, oh, they must think we're so terrible, blah, blah. And I think now I look back, I'm like, who cares?
Yeah. What a small
Yeah.
mistake.
10 bottles. And they don't care either. It's just they just had to let us know, and like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Yeah. So tell me, what is the best piece of advice that you two have received, whether it be individually or joint on this business?
What Bondstore said to us the other day? It wasn't even advice, it was a question.
Oh yeah. That was
What Bond Store say?
They said, do you want to grow? Which is a very nice question to be asked, because everyone always assumes like you feel this constant pressure of you have to get bigger. But it's really nice when someone says, do you want to grow? Because actually where you are right now is okay. Like,
yeah,
you could just be exactly who you are right now, and that's good enough.
Yeah.
You know? Which is very like a very nice way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were like, you know, oh, when you have your 100 employees, you know, like put this sort of pressure on, like you're having to get real big and turning over millions of dollars, where that's not necessarily what we want.
No, not at all. And it's like we've never wanted that, but it's easy to get wrapped up in it and like trick yourself almost into thinking that's what you want because that's what you should do. But who cares? Like if you want to be a small business owner and have a small business, that's totally fine. That's completely okay. If you just want to support like your little family and maybe like 1 to 2 other people, that's awesome.
Or just yourself. If you just want to be self-employed and just
do your own thing. Yeah. Just be solo cholo. That's great. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Like no one's pressuring you because we talk to some like big food industry people every now and then. You meet them at like certain events and stuff and they go, oh, what do you want to be doing by Q3 in 2020, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know. I want to be making sauce and like talking to customers and being nice. Yeah, I don't want to turn over like heaps and heaps and heaps and like that feels gross. That's totally not me, and it's not you either.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so like authentic, and it makes me feel like the sauce that is in my pantry that I'm going to be using on my food is genuinely made with love and with passion. Like I really like that. That's good. And for anybody who's listening to this who has maybe a dream business that they want to do, or maybe they're an artist or a musician or whatever, what is some advice that you would give to them?
Well, if you want to start a business or something and talk to us more, like you can get in touch with us and we're more than happy to talk to people and help out, and like give a little bit of insight and answer any questions and stuff. We honestly don't mind anyone talking to us about anything at all. We don't want to appear unapproachable.
Yeah. I think if you want to do something, just do it. Like have the confidence. Because what's the worst that could happen? Like it doesn't work, and then at least you tried.
Yeah.
That's what we've always thought. Like, oh, this might not work, but like we gave it a go.
Yeah.
And like that's not to say I'll be devastated if it doesn't work. It's not to say like we'll just not care, but like for us as well, like we're lucky that there's the two of us. So Matt was able to focus on it full time quite early on, which is a real
That's very lucky.
privilege.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we could have, like, you really need someone to be like in it and there and available, especially when you've got to fulfill orders and stuff. Like we can't really just be doing that after work in the evenings. Like you've got to be contactable all the time, and so having that ability to do that was like very lucky.
Yeah, very lucky.
But so it's really challenging if you're by yourself and you want to start a business, and like how do you, I don't know what the answer is. Like how do you,
if you don't come from generational wealth, or you don't have some sort of like safety net to fall back on, or lots in savings, or like a partner to take care of you and pay the bills. And that's a real that's difficult to figure out what to do in that scenario.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like what you said was kind of just hit on the nail though, because it's how I feel about it too, is just do it, just give it a go. People always say what's the worst thing that could happen, but I like to think what's the best thing that could happen, and you're never going to know that until you try. So
but again, like that's my pessimism coming back in. Like I don't like every single scenario is like for people are completely different, like people's backgrounds and that sort of thing. Like I get worried because it's like, when we started I had no fallback. Like I had nothing to fall back on. I had no savings. I'm like relatively unemployable.
Did you have relatives on your back about that?
Well, kind of, yeah.
It's kind of true though. Like I don't know what I would have done had I not been self-employed. And that goes back to what I said before about like being able to control what you do during your own work week. Like I never would have not been in some form of like wage slavery. That's a term.
Yeah. I mean, before Matt was managing a fast food restaurant for starting Apostle, which was a really hard job.
It was really hard.
Also
really undervalued.
Yeah.
No, and like not well paid. And there's like no room up from that. Like what am I hoping to happen? Like get a job in the head office, but doing what? Like
if it's not
testing, I've got food technologists. Marketing, I don't have a marketing degree. Like what was I going to be doing? So I think a lot of people in undervalued jobs, specifically like hospitality jobs or manufacturing and stuff, it's like that's what you do now. That's your tier. You stay in that little bubble, and it's like there's no real room for these people to really like want to attain that like middle class status. It was once potentially like really attainable for people, but not anymore. It's like the middle class has just been squeezed out completely. So a lot of people who maybe aren't particularly well educated because of whatever reasons, maybe they don't have money, they don't have the freedom to go to university, maybe they had people and family to support to get jobs and things like that. So I think it's yeah, I don't know where I'm going exactly with this, but like,
well, I think it's very easy to just say like give it a go,
yeah,
do what you can, but like also just understanding that we are so privileged and lucky that we could give it a go.
Right.
Because that's not an option for everyone.
Yeah. Great. Well, yeah, thanks guys. That's all we got time for today. I really, really appreciate you two coming on and having a chat. I hope that people listening to this got some kind of insight. And if you guys really quickly right now just want to, tell people where they can find out more about you, where to buy your sources from, now's the time to do that.
You can check us out on apostlehotsauce.co.nz for our website, or just Google that name, Apostle Hot Sauce, and then you'll see all of our stockists as well. You can check us out on social media too. And just one last thing, apologies because I was really winding up into an anti-capitalist rant there, so I apologize.
Hey, maybe
Apologize for my behavior.
we'll get that going on a future episode, maybe, because there's some things I want to talk to you on that as well. But yeah, for today's episode, we'll leave it there. And just before you guys go, completely unrelated question, but it's coming from, I think it was an episode I did last week. Okay, so you guys, bear in mind, this is completely unrelated to Source. Have you guys watched Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do you think would win in a 1v1 fight between Dumbledore and Gandalf?
Oh, Matt's not into this sort of thing, but I am.
Ben, come here. What do you think? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would just like to say Dumbledore because I like Harry Potter more than Lord of the Rings.
I agree with you. I think Dumbledore wins.
Okay, if you look at it from like a perspective of how much magic was used in Lord of the Rings as opposed to Harry Potter, like anyone in the Harry Potter universe, I think beats the Lord of the Rings universe.
Oh, because it got more magic.
Yeah, because you can just go bizarre and then something happens, whereas like Gandalf had to like charge up.
I feel like that's controversial what you just said. So I'm really looking forward to hear some of the.
Well, did you see in Lord of the Rings, did anyone use like an immediate like die and then someone just died? No, that happened heaps in Harry Potter. Levitate away from me. Throw a big rock at you. Like whatever the heck those spells were. Like look at what they did in Lord of the Rings. Like Gandalf went, ha-cha.
Yeah, look, I'm on your side. I'm Team Dumbledore. So there you have it, guys. Apostle Hot Sauce is Team Dumbledore as well. If you didn't enjoy it,
it's all witchcraft though. Yeah.
It's all witchcraft though, so it makes no difference. But if you did enjoy this video, please leave a rating. If you're listening on Spotify, if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.